if we're able to pull this off and connect communities along this route to tell one massive story, maybe that's part of the idea of getting people to work together. And in each city we will create more animals, and we will train local performers to animate the animals, to give them life, to create animals that are wild and elegant and frightened and ferocious, to run through the streets. When the idea is that these numbers will increasingly grow until we're testing our capacity and I stop sleeping and eating for 2 months.
Definitely like the physicality of them, because they were still working on creating them as we were doing it and responding to what we needed from the puppets. So sometimes like a leg would break or like would be hard to use, and they'd have to go and find a way to make them more usable, because they made these for the first time for us to use. So they weren't quite sure what we'd need to be able to move. That was really the hardest thing by far, yeah.
A lot of it was kind of picking up the puppet and seeing how they move and how the material reacts to what you do, and then kind of comparing that to the real animal. Like with the gazelles, they kind of can bend their spines really like far back, and then if you look at real gazelles, they really kick their legs back as they jump, so we kind of allowed us to kind of fold them up as they jump and then settle them back in. You know, so the puppet acted really nicely like the real thing, so yeah.
From working on, we started our course, our year, started on just the necks of the kudu and the horns. And from going from that tiny little bit to now seeing this gigantic kudu that's twice the size of me is insane. But when we was working on them in the other room and they were on their hooks on their hangers, and then the actors came in and they suddenly came to life, it was really interesting to... it was like, oh, my baby's now come to life. It's just, it's amazing from seeing them from bits of cardboard to now actual animals. It's crazy.
We try to keep it as like environmentally friendly as possible. Obviously, it's an environmental kind of statement that they're working with, so we've tried to keep it. It's been really interesting to use cardboard as material and trying to find ways to strengthen it that still keeps it within its kind of recyclable image. But yeah, it's been a really fun thing to learn to work with.
But you're slightly back.
These projects, in a way, are our attempt to become useful, because it's, and then the way these projects work is we create a very, very thick layer of partnerships in each place. Climate activists, climate organizations, arts organizations, civic society. So we try and create an ecosystem, for lack of a better word.
A nice and so can we be really animated?
Is important for the conversation, humbly, right? I don't know if what we add to the conversation will change the world. Most probably it won't. It doesn't matter. It's worth trying. But the idea of creating a project that deals with climate change from an emotional stance, from a sensory experience, and not from this is the science, because I think we know. I think the problem is not lack of knowledge. I think the problem is we know so much, we're becoming desperate, we're becoming defeated, but we need a good reminder of how beautiful nature is.